Okay, being 4:30, I'll open up the January 23rd sewer commissioners meeting. Elaine, aye.
Bill, I.
Brian Donahoe, aye.
Okay, anybody have a chance to look at the meeting minutes?
No,
Okay,
they're in here though, right?
Yeah.
Don't even know if I got emails.
They're in the last one.
I'll have to double check with you. They'll be ready by the time you come back down.
okay. Commitments, we have, commitment 2426 for $20 bill for a real estate transaction, and then a 2427 for $603.20 credit due to a billing glitch.
I make the motion to move both of those.
Second that.
in positive.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Next, we have update from the superintendent.
So things continue to wind down at the plant as far as the construction phase of everything. This last week, there wasn't a lot of activity, but this week we had Erickson come in, which is our skater company that comes in and monitors all our equipment and upgrades everything. So one of the final pieces of the upgrade was to change over the computers. They waited till the end because if we upgraded 2.5 years ago, that would have been an older computer system by then. So the last step this week fell into place. They put in the larger screen monitor and 2 new computers. They also updated the way we get call outs when SCADA has a problem and it notifies us. Now it's going to go through our phone system instead of a pager for at least the on-plant stuff. And the way it works is it'll text each on-call phone, and then it'll also email each phone. So it'll go through the first person who's on call. If they don't respond within a minute, it'll call the next on-call phone. Another minute, we'll call Carl's phone, the assistant chief. So there's always going to be a chain of command. So we were a little concerned that once we get off of a pager system, which will even pick up a signal in the basement, that we might not have the same continuity with phone service. But now it'll just go through all that chain of command. Even if someone's in a bad zone,
Yeah,
someone else will get the call. And then it'll work similarly to the old system. The only way to get that notification to stop coming at you is to actually fix the problem. So even if someone doesn't see the initial call, the next person will get it and we'll go on SCADA, fix the problem, and then it'll fall off the chain that notifies us. So that stuff was tested out on Monday. We've had no glitches with it since. So early, but so far so good. There's a couple projects that are floating around in town that I've been asked to kind of get involved in recently with the building department. This all kind of happened before I came. Tremont Street got approved for their extra usage. So that's all set. I'm just going to put together a letter for them to let me know before they demo anything, to witness a cut and cap on it. So it's one of my projects going on. Rockland Trust is also going to be renovating by the Big Y. Same thing, cut and cap on that. The third one we might want to put on our next agenda, just kind of got my hands into it yesterday. It involves the Indian Pond Country Club looking to do the maintenance facility.
oh yeah,
Which I've already kind of, sent them a letter saying that we do have sewer out front, that if you want to tie in. So what I didn't have clarity on was the exact usage of it. So they've given a little more direction on how many gallons they would need, and I did some assessment of it. I can share that with you in an email, and then we can discuss it next meeting and see how we want to go forward. But at this point, we'll pencil that for the next meeting.
Is it just domestic water line?
Yeah, so from what there's a water moratorium out. So the paperwork I have says if they can't get access to town water, they'd be willing to put in a well for their own system. So we could provide the wastewater side for them, but with the water moratorium, I don't know how far along that project is gonna go. But as far as the sewer department is concerned, I think we can handle the flows,
That's interesting.
but we'd have to look at, you know,
Where I was going with the question is just, maintenance facility, like chemicals, irrigation, fertilization type stuff that might be a problem for us, and, just still. So you're thinking about, I'm thinking pre-treatment, they're not dumping huge amounts of
so.
something with a lot of
Well,
nitrogen
that-
fertilizer.
The maintenance facility is supposed to be housing all of their golf carts. They bring them in, they
So
clean them. they wash them and maintain.
According to the document, anyway, yeah, it's supposed to be bringing the golf carts in, doing maintenance on it, maybe some oil changes, things like that. So it might get into a point of water oil separated.
Yeah.
things like
Yeah.
that.
They wash those when they bring them in. Even if they bring them off the course.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know what they're picking up on the course, dirt, dust. If they're
Grass
electric,
clippings,
there won't be a lot of,
Nitrogen from clippings and fertilizers.
That should go into an on-site drain with a.
Yeah, make sure there's no
MS4
floor
type
drains.
thing.
make sure there's no floor drainage going into the sewer system.
So whatever concerns, we can bring up, as a project goes forward, as far as that goes. I'm not sure what stage it's in at this point. I'm just kind of starting to get into it.
Yeah, I think they're still with planning and ZBA at the same time.
Yeah, it's gonna be the clubhouse. They're in that parking lot, right when you drive in, is in that area.
Yeah, so if you're looking at the clubhouse, would be to the left.
If you put in the well until where our effluent goes in the ground.
There is,
We use it one way or the other.
the way the force main travels up there, they'd be to the side, left side.
Because the groundwater kind of moves towards towards the Dune River, down
Okay.
the street, down their entrance. Kind of goes off to the left a little bit. I remember this
Okay.
it basically goes in where our pump station.
Towards Grants.
Yeah, that's clean water. Another way to use that for potable water. If they don't need potable water, that's mine. If they don't need potable water, solves the potable water problem. They don't need to drink it.
Yeah, and
They're
they
just
talk,
washing trucks and they're gonna take care of it that way. We have a place to put it otherwise, and then
there was talk about using the dry fire protection systems where there's a shortage on the water. So there's a whole bunch of information in there. I haven't gone through it all.
yeah. I hate anytime you cannot use potable water with something that's not near, washing a car with potable water is stupid. Washing it, it's just dumb. You're wasting all this, you spend tons of money to clean it up so you can drink it, and then you're washing a truck, or washing a car. Or
Yeah.
Maybe we should put a car wash up by the treatment plant and we could.
Well, that looks like an agenda item.
Hey, so it's on there, yeah. Hey, that's what this guy should be doing. There.
Yeah, 32 million.
Yeah, so as far as the expansion, that's pretty much all I have. I don't have any additional other than we have a big day coming tomorrow, but Brian can fill us in on that.
And just while on the update from superintendent, I'm going to include the wage and personnel meeting I went to Thursday. Wage and personnel voted to support a grade 13. The step is up for discussion. Because they had asked me and I said we were looking at a 7. So there's probably going to be some further discussion on that, negotiating and all of that. But we've got the important thing. We've got the grade 13.
We've got the documentation to back it up, so.
Yeah.
We're taking care
So
of all that.
when it's on PAC TV, I'll send you all the link. That way you can watch it yourself and see how it went.
Good.
That's all I had. So you want to take it away, Brian?
What,
The leaching field, I guess. Is
on
the,
the annual report, just, I want to make sure, I tend to, as I just did, point out things like the nitrogen. I mean, I'm a stickler for this because this is what people need, the public needs to hear. Of what we do, see it, and we're putting water back in the ground, and so just if anyone has a concern about this, and I know why you would have it, because I've been there before, just drag it to me, because I love telling people what the truth is, first
Okay.
of all, and explaining this is why what we do. It's why the town did this. Everyone understands it at the time, and a lot of people I've learned recently don't understand it. So the more I can go back and do that, do it. I think I've told you my story when my kids were in elementary school and I was a scientist in the town, and they asked me to do a birthday thing, and I would always go, and this is before the sewer, right? I tell kids, just the story goes. So I have 50 or 60 second, third, fourth, fifth, depending on the year. And I'd start off with, do you know where your water comes from? And I'd go through and then we get into the well and the water pipe. So then, do you know what happens when you flush the toilet, when you use the bathroom, when you use the sink? And where that water goes, I don't know. Then some kid would say, don't we have a cesspool or something? I say, yeah, that's right. Where does that go? And I've already established that the water's coming out of the ground. So now, in this time, and it all goes back to the conditions. What does that tell you? And then they go, you hear all this stuff. And inevitably, I have 4 or 5 parents calling me up and say, what are you telling my kid this? It's the truth. And if they know what's going in the ground, they know what's coming out of the ground, they're going to be a lot more careful about what goes in the ground. And they go, okay, now we get it. See, it's not that same simple way I do it.
Also, I'm educating you because
Yeah.
they just came over and brought you some information.
My kids, don't let them go to these shows anymore. Don't let them go. And so, we did that. Leaching fields, the bid is opening tomorrow. I'm going to come here and Dave will be here. Hopefully, this is looking pretty good. We've had we've had a lot of negotiations back and forth, which I haven't been privy to this time.
Yeah.
Going on. Dave's been involved with most of them, but end of the story with the Natural Heritage, they bureaucratically couldn't make the change that I was hoping they could do to let us start a little bit early, about a month early. And that's why we did the dog piece. Although the Natural Heritage is interested in doing that further on, and I'm going to talk to John with that differently. But what we ended up with is a bid that's going to come in tomorrow. We're going to bids are going to be, construction start is going to be around April 1st, okay, as opposed to March 1st.
Okay.
Okay. And the total sweeping, the total fencing and all that can start right then. It can actually start earlier. So when the negotiations with CDM, we can actually get the fencing going in March like we wanted to. But they can't do the sweep now until April 1st.
Okay.
The good news there is originally in the report, in the permit we had, it was April 15th. We brought that back 2 weeks. So, and we got the project going faster. So earlier, that wouldn't be a problem because we wouldn't even be out for bid yet. We would have been out for bid in January. Now we're done tomorrow. So all being said, we have a pretty aggressive schedule based on some input that Dave had. The actual getting to the 50% piece is now in August as opposed to July.
Oh, okay.
Late June, July. That was back and forth feedback with contractors that were coming back saying, we can get that date, but even if we have more time to work, they may or may not want to put overtime on their people and whatever. This prevailing wage is the law here. So bottom line is, we're within 2 or 3 weeks of where I was hoping we'd be. We got a lot more time for them to do it, so the flexibility of the contract with us move in and out of the site is there. I will now follow up after we took the bid, knowing talk to the neighbors about.
Yeah.
And I'm going to follow up with, we talked about Tonford and having him aware, making sure he's aware of this stuff and using our assets to talk about that. Just so everyone knows. So we're gonna be digging into the ground in 2 months.
Excellent. That's very good. Very, very good.
And to continue what Brian was talking about too, is the end date, will still remain the same, even though we're moving that halfway completion time frame. It doesn't extend anything out on the other end. Just gives them a little more comfort in that.
They actually get to be done in February of next year.
Okay.
But as we talked about, no contractor that's almost done wants to go through the winter, futzing around with finishing this last 5% in the middle of the winter. So they're gonna, I'm sure, once they get the first 50% done, the pipes working, and they're doing the last piece, they're gonna expedite that so it's done by November. It's not gonna be February. So, and then getting all the grass going. So that's all good.
That's all very good. Thank you. Thank you both.
Mostly Brian's heavy lifting.
Hope it pays off. Okay.
Now, the audit update, at least from our perspective, Jeannie and I are working on the analysis with betterments and users and all of that. We're making some pretty good headway. Our next meeting, we should have some results to share.
Good.
So,
Good.
DEP approval. I sent the email out to everybody.
We have a lot of that. Those are set, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're all set with that. 32 Main Street, proposed car wash. Do we have a building permit on that? Was that just an inquiry?
So it was more an inquiry. And it looks like because of the water, the water needs that they have, that project may not happen. So that 2,000 gallons a day.
Who's applying? Marty GMC, or the existing car wash?
It was 32. Isn't that where that old Kingston block is?
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
And they only have enough water usage for that. You think there was only a house on there and then maybe some outbuildings?
Yes.
So
Marty GMC bought that property.
Did it?
Truck division there.
And they actually bought additional capacity. So from our perspective, they should have enough capacity to construct a car wash. Because I think they bought 5, I think they have a total of 6 EIUs.
They get right around that 2,000 gallon a day.
Okay.
It was like 1950 something.
Yeah, but
somewhere in there.
They do a lot of recirc of their water. So they're not really using a lot of water flow.
According to their documents, they still estimated 2,000 gallon a day usage.
And that site is not already grandfathered in with the water department, obviously. And we don't
Probably not for that volume.
Well, I know when we went through this on the other end, they were fighting like crazy about the number of tenants. And that's one of those that we had commercial property, and we did it based on the frontage, what it could be, as opposed to the house that was there. Both of them, Bonilla, and that was Bonilla, right? And this was Kingston Block, the other one is still there.
Yeah.
And they were really fighting that. But we said, no, it's a highest and best use kind of thing for that commercial property. That's why we ended up with the 6. And that Bonilla there was a smaller lot, actually.
Yeah.
But so those are the right, to me, those are the right numbers for when we started. And with the water,
that's like 20 bedrooms, 18, 17 bedrooms. 110 gallons a day. If they wanted to put in 64 condos units. But there's still a lot of water.
I mean,
The usage is a lot less, obviously, for cow water.
perhaps they could even put in a well or something.
There's plenty of water in the
Yeah.
ground down there. It may not
So
be clean
it
water.
may not be off the table completely. I let them know that we do have, that capacity for that property.
Tell you the truth, it was me, I'd do it. I put the well in.
Yeah,
The only
if
problem
you're
with
using
that-
that much water, and like you said, why do you want to use perfect water?
that's an area where, depending on exactly where you are, there's a lot of clay and till there. And then as you get towards coming back towards Kingston, you get into the gravel that's in the Small Brook and that other little brook that's there. So it could be a little dicey depending on, if they actually.
They dry that swamp up,
Yeah.
across the street from the creek.
There's a lot of ledges.
Buy that land now.
The a really funky part of the town right there. You know, you go back up and just, you don't have to go 1,000 feet up Smith Lane and you got 100 feet of sand. And then right down the other end of the street, it's clay and it's ledge dump projects. You know? So it's kind of, but it's, you know, that's always a suggestion. Hey, you know, we got the capacity of the sewer. If you want to, plus I've done 4 car washes in my career. And they don't care what the quality of water is because they have to clean it up so much. Anyways, they have a lot of they got to get a really high quality industrial water so they can recycle it and recover all those. I mean, they recover the soap, the polish, all those things that they're real expensive. They recover them, like you said, and they reuse it so that if 1,000 gallons goes in, it goes around like 5 or 6 times before it gets to shelves.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, even the one that's up there.
Yeah,
Like
the gas station,
Yeah.
Spring Street.
Spring Street.
Yeah, I remember that one. That was a challenge when that first came on.
It was a bit-
Well, you figure too, every car that leaves there, how much water still drips out of it as you know,
Yeah,
10 minutes down the road, you park somewhere, you're still getting water in. So there
That-
must be some that, you know, in that 2,000 that just
It's
leaves the
significant.
site, you
Yeah,
know?
it does. But it's people have studied this stuff. Like what goes up, what part of the chemicals go up in the drain? What do they do? And they actually did that. You recall back when we were our buddies, the name was fighting it. The street there, and they were doing water testing in the gas basin.
Yep.
And the drips and drips and drips. And then
Yeah.
Okay, and then the turtle investigation and report.
yeah, that's all done. I put the invoice in for that.
Okay, good.
You know, this again, going back that established a basis with natural heritage. They were tried to be very accommodating. But we're pushing the button. But the reason we did that is to get the ability to go in there earlier and be able to say, there really are no turtles there. We still follow the permit, but have natural heritage, no, there's probably nothing there.
Yeah.
So, but they've told me off the record is that, yeah, you're probably right. But our protocol, our reasons, we can't change them in the next month and a half.
Yeah.
The government doesn't do that. So we're going to look at it. We're really interested in doing it, but at least we bought the time. We got 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's very good.
It's good to know that there's nothing there, just for our own knowledge prior to all this.
Look
And
at Google Earth and see the place has been burned over like 10 times. And we went to a fire chief. That whole site's been, that's why there's nothing, no understory. And so many fires in
really?
That report was awesome.
it. It's a little,
It really
a
neat.
little colloquial. That John is like that. He's,
Yeah, no, that was perfect.
and there's a view, John. He said, I've been hunting here. He hunted there. When I was 14, I was hunting deer here with my father. He's right there. It's just,
Knows the area well then.
he knows the area.
Just an incredible document to read through if you have it. It's just how someone can look at what looks like just some woodland and really get into, you know, what he sees from it and the evidence and then drawing attention to it. And the way it was written even is just,
He's kind of a folks.
Smooth.
They don't like the. It's not an academic per se. It's academic with a folksy piece to it.
yeah.
Which is I like. I mean, tell a story. That's right. Tell a story.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad you
I
like
hope he's
that.
training someone to come up behind him.
Well, I'm
Or is it
gonna
lost
I'm
out?
gonna hook them up. There's 2 other companies that do this. And the woman, I don't really know her, but if we have to fall back on the persons that did our work, they're gonna go under contract. But we have to find a second, alternative.
Yeah.
I've already found 2. And they're the kind of folks that would take this and do it on the level that natural heritage would say. What natural heritage told us is they have records of radio beacon records of box turtles in this area that I said, I want to see that data because I want to see when it was done. I can see it maybe 40 years ago,
Yeah.
but any box turtles walking on there, go to Mary O'Donnell's and Clifton.
yeah, try coming up that, come up that slope, that grade. It's not gonna happen.
They'll never come back there again. Anyways,
Hole in the ground, which is-
so I know that you've already processed that or,
Yes, the check will be being sent out on Thursday.
okay, great. Yeah.
Then the last thing I have is Wildlands Trust is looking at where we've asked them to hold a conservation restriction on the property. And they're reviewing that with their staff this week. So
Okay.
that's starting to come to the forefront for them, which is good.
So do we have to do a conservation trust on the property, or is that just the best thing?
It's required.
It's part of the
Yeah.
conservation
I
restriction
just,
permit.
some other options, but it's that, the open space. It's the big-
Yeah,
Who holds it can be very different. You know, the Wildlands Trust or trustees of reservations, they all have their little niches, but Wildlands Trust is owns most of the land around here,
yeah,
so it makes more sense to have them do it.
yeah, they have a lot of land in Kingston.
That's something that CDM is gonna take it. Magdalena, she's gonna amend the original permit that's done and take all that information. Wildlands Trust is critical, you get it in there,
Okay, good.
and after this bid.
Well, they have control over the rest of the property, right, of the section we're using? Or
Yes.
was it-
Yeah,
They do already have. What do they have?
I don't know. They don't. Not, no.
Okay.
We bought it for open space, we bought it for leaching fields, but there's no conservation restriction
Okay.
on it yet,
Okay.
so.
Yeah, it's not owned by the Conservation Commission. That's why I went to them to
Right.
have, well, part of it was to have them, instead of buying this land, using their land to compensate, stockpiling. That couldn't work because the parcel that's next to them at the annual town meeting, 223, they flipped it to from town ownership only, conservation. Because that happened, it comes under Article 97. You can't change the Article 97 property to something else. If it's already in conservation, you can't use it to credit what I was trying to do. So this is like, they consider double dipping, which is okay.
Yeah.
So we had to buy the land, so it's gonna cost us about $30,000 or $40,000 to buy, to have Nature Conservancy buy land somewhere else in the Commonwealth that has box turtles habitat and protect it forever, so that we can take this land the short term. That's how it works.
Okay, that
At 9,000 an acre, which is a really good deal.
is a good thing.
Which should save tenfold on sending soil off the
Right.
property and then back.
Right.
So the expectation for tomorrow's bids is that by the end of the process, we'll know who,
Yeah, they'll
Who's
award-
being
they'll
awarded?
know the lowest bidder tomorrow.
Yeah.
Lowest.
qualified.
Qualified bid.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Just on the side
Pick
note
up
to
some
that,
backhoe.
how much
Or
of
qualified?
how much of the existing soils over there would have to leave the site in terms of a percentage of volume?
My guess, I talked to Ben, I looked at all their borings, they didn't have a lot of borings.
Mhm.
They didn't have only a few test pits, the test pits are shallow, they only go 10 feet or 12 feet. Borings go down 60, 70 feet.
Yeah.
There's no groundwater for at least 60 feet, so that's a good thing. But the soils, I was pointing out to Ben, there's a type of soil. It's a sandy loam, but it's not good for permeability.
Yeah.
And there are layers of it. And those are CDM's on-site contractor, on-site inspector. He's gonna have to be looking at those as they excavate through. That goes over here in a pile. It's great for the top, it's great for the loam seed mix and all that, but you can't put it down here. So they're gonna be playing the game of how much is actually really good sand and gravel that they can stockpile and start building up. And, the crushed stone at the top and the infiltrates. And then all this other stuff will be filled. I also, part of the, if you go out there, adjacent to Mary O'Donnell's, it's further back, there's a big valley.
Mhm.
And so I got Natural Heritage agreed to, we can build some habitat there, but also fill that. So there's another 20,000 yards roughly that would have gone off if that had been flat. We have a big hole to fill, so now it's gonna be a flat situation. So in the stuff that we'd have to get rid of, it would have cost, pick a number, 30, $40 a yard to get rid of it somewhere.
Use it on site.
Stay right there. Stay right there.
Excellent.
So all these things work.
Yeah.
And hopefully, to your point, hopefully at the end of this analysis, there is a lot of good sand and gravel. It should be.
Yeah.
But you don't know until you actually dig in it.
No way to anticipate.
Well, I think the anticipation is there is, but you look at the borings and a lot of these are small.
Sure.
The geoprobes, I hate geoprobes because they hit a little rock. They push the rock through 6 feet or 5 feet of soil, and you think you're getting something in the tube, but you're not getting what's in the tube because it's pushing everything out of the way, and then all of a sudden the rock moves out of the way, and then you get what's 6 feet down, but you miss what's in the 6 feet as opposed to 4 or 6 inch.
So at the end of the day, how many acres are we digging and how far down are we digging?
It's about 11 acres, plus or minus, is the footprint. There's an overdig for the slope. And they're going down 30 something feet.
30 something feet. I'll get rid of all the crap on the top. Get down to the
Yeah, all that
top.
stuff, and then, then they're gonna sort of stockpile that.
Okay.
But good, be able to see it, they're
Yeah.
gonna take this, the soil I'm talking about is orange as opposed to really good sand. You'll see it. I think there's piles of it from Tonsberg on that lot.
Yeah,
next
yeah,
door.
yeah.
He took it aside, it's great for making a loam. You mix it with organic stuff and then you get nice tight loam that doesn't permeate. It's not permeable. So you'll see these piles though. They'll be able to contractor, okay, I'll put this there, this there, this
Yeah.
there. And we're done.
I mean, adjacent to that, O'Donnell's removing a lot of good soil, of good material. They had a big rock crushing outfit,
Yeah.
system up there and everything. They had stone, sand, they had everything in that state.
You wish you brought stuff in and from other projects they did.
Okay, anybody have anything else? Jeannie? You good?
Good.
Okay,
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
all in favor? Aye.
Thank you.